What I'm going to talk about today is the Karl Popper Debate format. You are aware of World Schools format?
Yes.
You debated in this academy, and I think you said that you never had the experience of Karl Popper before. So, just give me a second. Okay, so basically, the Karl Popper debate format is the purpose of this format is basically the same as World Schools. You have to persuade the judge that your argumentation is superior to the other teams, and that you are going to win the debate on manner of arguments. You understand that?
Isn't that the same but in my own format?
Yes, it is in the same old format. Yeah, sure. However, there are differences. So for the first one, I'm going to speak now about the history of this format, just a little, and then we are going to argue about what is the differences between those two formats. So the Karl Popper format is administered by the organization IDEA, International Debate Educational Association, and the format is predominant in Central and Eastern Europe and in Central Asia. Actually, this format is popular there because it is easy to. It was developed as an educational format. It was made to be. It was made to be taught in the schools in the schools, and it was promoted by Open Society Foundation of George Soros in those post-communist countries in Eastern Europe, like Slovakia, Hungary, Poland, Estonia, and so on. Basically, the biggest competition in Karl Popper debate format is Youth Forum. You may have heard of it. So it is named after Karl Popper. Karl Popper. Do you know him? Do you know who he is? He's a famous 20th century philosopher. He was a philosopher of. His major contribution was to philosophy of science. He coined the term critical rationalism, and he was well. His major works was about the falsibility of scientific theories, but it's not important. So, what are the main difference? Basically, the formats are in core they are the same. You have 3 speakers for each team, and you have three speakers for each team. However, you have only 3 speeches in this debate. You have only 3 speeches, not 4 as in World Schools format. So each member of team debates only once. What?
Role of each.
Yes, we're going to speak about role of the speakers. So the first speaker opens the debate with basically he does the same job as first speaker of the team proposition in World Schools format. Yeah. However, he has to present his all arguments in the first speech. He has you can't have a case division in Karl Popper format. Like you can't have the new constructive arguments in the second speech. All arguments has to come in the first speech. Okay. Yeah. The first speech is lasts for 6 minutes.
And only within 6 minutes?
Only 6 minutes, yeah.
How long do they have to prepare?
How do you mean?
I mean, for how long preparation time would be?
The preparation time for impromptu debates is 1 hour, the same as World Schools. Okay. And you have 8 minutes of preparation time for your team in the debate. Like before the speeches, you can take your time and prepare the speeches before. So it's not like in World Schools format where you
don't have time between speeches.
Don't have time between speeches. You can take 8 minutes of preparation time.
Okay.
It's 8 minutes for proposition, 8 minutes for opposition. So the first speaker comes. First speaker presents the arguments. He does not have to do the really formal stuff of World Schools format, such as the case division, such as the I don't know, announcing the team line and stuff like that. He's not obliged to do that. However, he has to define a motion and present his arguments. So then comes the first member of the opposition, and he has the same job as the first speaker of opposition in World Schools Forum. He comes and he makes a rebuttal of the team proposition line, and then he presents his argument. All of them. In Karl Popper debate format, you don't have to have your own constructive line in a team opposition. Okay. However, you gain more points if you have your own arguments. However, you can win a debate only by refuting the team proposition line. So then, you present your arguments.
6 minutes each.
And you have the 6 minutes. Yeah. So then comes the second speaker. The second speaker, the role of second speaker is basically the same as the role of third speaker in World Schools format.
Only refutation.
Only refutation and you know the developing of your own line, your own arguments further.
But no new ideas.
No new ideas. You can't have the new ideas in this speech. You have to only develop and analyze further the arguments. And your main role is to destroy the arguments of the opposition team. Then the role of second opposition member is basically the same. They do it as well. They make the rebuttal and they develop their arguments further.
And this goes for 6 minutes again?
No, it's only 5 minutes long. Yeah, so 5 minute speech, and then comes the third speaker, and he makes a reply speech basically for 5 minutes. He summarizes the whole debate. He points on major clashes in the debate, and he makes it and he explains them to the judge and explains why he should win the debate. Basically, it's the reply speech in World Schools format, and it lasts for 5 minutes. The same thing happens. The same thing is done by the third speaker of the opposition. So there's one major thing I didn't mention so far. Yeah. You don't have the POIs in this format. You don't have the points of information. However, you have cross-examination. That means that you actually stand up. The two members of the teams stand up, and the one questions the another for 3 minutes long.
3 minutes.
Yeah, okay. 3 minutes. And it goes like that. After each speech, after each constructive speech, the first after each of the speeches from two first members, you have the cross examination, and the first speakers are examined by the third speakers. Okay. And the second speaker are examined by the first speakers.
I thought you said two members of the team would interrogate the...
No, the member from the team opposition and team proposition stood up.
So they would question each other?
Yeah, they question each other.
But it would be regulated in the sense that one member would question him for 3 minutes continuously, then the second member, No, it means that after, for example, you are first speaker of proposition, and you end your speech, and then you stand up with the third speaker of the opposition, and the third speaker of the opposition questions you for 3 minutes. He would be the only person who's questioning.
Yes, he's the only one who questions you, and then you sit down.
So first, third,
yes,
second, first, and third, second.
No, the third is you don't have a cross after third speech. So and that happens on the other side as well. So basically, when you end up your first opposition speech,
third
your question for 3 minutes. Yeah. So there are strategies how to do it effectively, and it's the replacement for POIs, that you actually have to engage in this debate, and you have to be think on your feet and do it spontaneously. So that's how the Karl Popper debate format actually works. So the main difference in these two formats is that they don't have the points of information, but they have course examinations. You have preparation time in this debate. Your preparation time, you have 8 minutes of preparation time. You can choose however you want to how to use it in the debate, and then there's a difference how the debates are judged actually. Okay. Because in World Schools format, the debates are judged on the matter of argumentation and content, and on the matter of style. You have 40% of argumentation, 40% of style, 20% of organization, I think. So, but in Karl Popper format, you can't win a debate on style. Basically, the whole thing that matters is argumentation.
So World Schools was argumentation?
In World Schools format, you are judged on argumentation, style, and organization.
Style is 40%?
Yeah, I think so. It's like 20%, I think.
And over here, argumentation is 100%?
Yeah, basically. You have some
points for cross-examination.
You have some points. You have different points in Karl Popper format. You have points for organization as well, argumentation, and I don't know, style as well. However, however, you can't win the debate on style. Basically, even if the opposing team is stylish, but they do not have the content, and your analysis was better, you are going to win the debate. Because, so that basically means that actually in this format the main purpose is to teach critical thinking skills. Is to develop the thinking of the children who actually do this. Not the presentation. The presentation skills are not as so important in this format. Yeah. So that's it. There is also other thing in World Schools that are different from the World Schools format and Karl Popper. One of the things is that in World Schools debate format or World Schools format, you have to have each argument as separate as possible and really formal. You know that actually you are going to announce what you are going to talk about, and then there is a strict distinction between the arguments. In Karl Popper format, there is one approach you can use. However, in Karl Popper format, there can be an effective strategy can be to integrate those all arguments into one kind of story and to present this one flowing argument, because you don't have so much time and you don't have so much content in this debate because of the restriction on time. In Karl Popper format, you have 11 minutes of constructive speeches for each side.
Yes.
In World Schools format, you have 24. So basically, you can see the difference between those two formats. That actually in World Schools format, you are going to have a really tough debate as well, and really the content you can have really much content in this debate. You have to sort it out. However, in Karl Popper format, it's easier to do that because you don't have so much content.
So how widely is it used?
Well, it's kind of it's mainly used in Eastern Europe, in Central and Eastern Europe. I think it's used in Slovakia, it's used in Czech Republic, it's used in Estonia. I think it's used in Romania as well, Bulgaria perhaps, and then you have then it's used in Africa, okay. I think, and the Middle Asia, like Turkestan or something, countries like that. So basically, it's not that widely used, and it's not that used in countries of Western world. However, and many people think that actually we should move from the Karl Popper format in our countries to World Schools because it provides the bigger opportunity for debaters to improve themselves and to actually bring more content. That is the other thing I want to talk about, because yes, actually in World Schools in Karl Popper format, you have a set ceiling that you can maximally achieve in this debate. And the ceiling is that actually you can put much developed and analyzed arguments in this debate because you simply don't have time. However, this ceiling is much higher in World Schools format. You can that means that you have three constructive speeches, and you have much more time. So basically, if you want to improve, there is much more opportunity for you in World Schools format. Basically because of the time, and that may be a problem in Karl Popper because you can achieve the level when you have to throw out things from your own argumentation line, just simply because you don't have the time. You don't have the time. However, the Karl Popper format is still fun and engaging. The cross examinations is something that I, to some degree, miss in world schools, because it's fun to actually it's fun to actually question your friend or your peer for 3 minutes long, and you can do some really pretty cool stuff in there.
And there's a format which integrates both aspects of world schools and Karl Popper's. That's called the Cambridge format. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
You can explain it.
Sure. The Cambridge format would also include 3 speakers and 1 think tank. This idea of think tank is missing from both world schools and Karl Popper's.
Yeah. What is his role?
The think tank, he only provides ideas to the team. That's it.
Okay, so he does not debate.
He does not speak. But what happens in Cambridge format is the first speaker does what the world schools debating first speaker would do. Sure. He would divide and then provide his constructive arguments, but only for 5 minutes, not more than that. The second speaker would then substantiate the same role. There are no points of information. Yeah. But after the first 3 speeches, there is a cross-examination for 1 minute each, where side opposition would cross-examine side proposition for 1 minute, and then side proposition to side opposition for 1 minute.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
And they ask questions, and then obviously first speakers will then reply, giving their reply speeches for 3 minutes long. First stop, then prop.
Yeah, okay, that sounds interesting. How long are the constructive speeches?
Constructive speeches, 5 minutes first prop, no, 4 minutes first prop, 4 minutes first stop, about 4 to 5 minutes for second prop, 4 to 5 second op, 4 to 5 third op, 4 to 5, and then 2 minutes reply speech.
Yeah, you did this. You have debated this?
Yeah, and we use that in our school.
Okay, that sounds like fun actually. I think it's more like Karl Popper than world schools.
Maybe, but then you have your chance to substantiate because you have 2 constructive speeches.
Yeah, that's true.
In fact, you have 3 constructive speeches because the third speaker can also provide 1 argument to the maximum, 1 new idea, but only 1. But his main role is refutation, just as.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So that's basically it. I think that was the main points about the Karl Popper and world schools. The world schools, well, what I dislike in world schools is that there is strict formalism how you should do the speeches, and you know that you have to stand up, you have to say some key words about in the beginning. Then you have to define the motion, bring the model, bring the team line, bring the case division, and then you have 2 to 3 arguments in a constructive speech, and then you have to do the case division. And actually, that is something that the format actually forces you to do. I like that. I like it on the Karl Popper that it doesn't force you to do any of this stuff. You have to. You can debate as you want, and you are not strictly penalized for it if you manage to get a good speech. Still, however, I think national organizations have different standards for what should be done in the debate to win the debate. For example, I know that the Czech Association actually makes the kids to always bring the criterion in the debate, and you can't win the debate without the criterion announced. So that's the difference. We don't have something like that in Slovakia, for example. And I'm not sure if it is needed in international competitions, made by IDEA, Legal Forum, and stuff. However, I think the national organizations can change the rules slightly to accommodate the needs of what they need, what they think this is best for their kids. So I think the criterion is used in Czech Republic. In Slovakia, you don't have to use the criterion. However, it's helpful as well. So that's basically it. I don't know what to say more about Karl Popper format. Do you have some other questions? Really? And I think the other major competition is Karl Popper Debate Championship or something like that. I think it's done in once a year it's something like World Schools Championship, I think, but it's in format of Karl Popper. Have you ever heard of Youth Forum?
No.
So basically, it is kind of is a competition. This year it's going to be in Ireland, and this competition is different to the degree that actually you have some workshops before that, and then something like that, this academy, and then you are going to debate in mixed teams with people from other countries that you can't debate in as a national team.
That happens in WSDA or ISPSC. Yeah, both. WSDA is World Individual Debating and Public Speaking Competition. It takes place in Australia. This time it took place in Durban, South Africa, I went for that, where they use a different format, parliamentary format, which is not the same
British parliamentary?
No, which is not the same as British parliamentary, which is slightly different in the sense that you only receive 30 minutes, and proposition would have to define the motion prior to the debate, and also have to provide that definition to side opposition within 10 minutes of preparation time. And then you finish your preparation within 30 minutes, and after that you speak for first speaker for 6 minutes, second for 9 minutes, first returns to reply for 3 minutes, second returns to reply for 3 minutes, and you're done.
Nice. Did you like it?
Yeah.
That's great.
It's very impromptu in the sense that you only have 30 minutes.
Yeah. Basically, it's something like the British parliamentary when you have only 15 minutes of preparation time.
British parliamentary only has 15.
Yeah, only 15 minutes before you give the speech. It's kind of harsh, actually. I debated it sometimes, but it's fun. You learn how to think really fast. So, the last thing I remember now is that actually there's a difference between motions and how you actually understand the motion in world schools and in Karl Popper, because the motions in because several motions are similar. You know, the motions about values and stuff like that. However, in Karl Popper, the motions tend to be much more narrow. You don't have to. They are much more specific about the issues, and in those debates you tend not to look at them from the global perspective. It's more like you debate them on local level. At least in Slovakia, it's done so. However, in world schools, you have to consider the larger implications of it, and you have to consider it in the larger picture, how it is affected in the global world. So, and the motions in world schools tend to be much demanding of your skills, much more tough, to some degrees.
Yeah.
And actually, you can find specific more ideas in those motions that you can debate. Like in Karl Popper, there are some motions that are really close, and you don't have so much content to debate. However, that is only specification of maybe specific to Slovakia. However, I think that this is something like. Okay. Bye bye.